Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to this, your May 1st through May 15th reading. We're going to have a look at some influential energies, what's coming up for you, your general overall outcome for the middle of May. And before we get started, let me first welcome anyone who is returning. Thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. And for those of you who are new here, a very warm welcome. This is a general reading for anybody born under the sign of Sagittarius, as well as anybody else who happens to have a lot of Sagittarius in their charts. I'm going to pull cards in 6 different areas, asking 6 different questions as I pull the cards. I leave all of the cards sitting face down until I'm actually ready to read them. And in so doing, it allows more of the psychic and intuitive messages to come through without being otherwise influenced by already knowing the outcome. This gives the reading a little bit more weight with regards to both psychic and intuitive insights. All right, Sagittarius, let's get started. The first card that we're going to pull for you, or cards, as the case may be, some of these decks want to talk more than others, is a card of where you're at now, here as I record this for you at the end of April. Where are the Sagittarius now? What energies are currently influencing the Sagittarians? We've come through a pretty exciting month. April was a pretty exciting month. We had a full moon in Aries. We had a shift with Pluto going into Aquarius. And what else did we have? Oh yeah, we had an eclipse on the 20th of April. So lots of exciting stuff. So Sagittarius, we need a card or two for where they're at now. The cards have been super, super messy this month. Look at this. Now that card's going to fall out. So I guess that's your card. There is another card that may fall out here. Yep. Got 2 or 3 more cards coming out. Yep. All right. That was weird. The cards usually don't come out that way, but I don't question how they come out. I just read them once they're out. Okay. The next cards we're going to pull are the cards of what you are focusing on. Sagittarius, what are the Sagittarians focusing on for May 1st through May 15th? Look at this. Look how messy these are coming out. I am not used to this. What are they focusing on? A couple more times here. Yeah. Okay. So we just have 1 card for your focus, Sagittarius. That's actually not a bad thing. All right. Where are we going now? We're going to go to your difficult influences. Sagittarius, difficult influences, May 1st through May 15th. Now that was weird too. Over half the deck came out in the first shuffle. All right. And again, difficult influences. Woo! Okay, so you have one thing that you're focusing on, and you've got a number of difficult influences coming up here. You do have 2 cards that flipped right over so that they were upside down. And that was the first card that came up. Okay. So once we're ready, we'll turn those cards over and we'll have a look at whether we're actually going to read them in the reversed or whether, maybe it was just the way that they flipped out of the deck. The next cards that we're going to be pulling for you, Sagittarius, are the cards that just make sense. Now, these cards, the just make sense cards, typically what happens is one of 2 things. Either the just make sense card is identical in meaning to other cards in your reading, thus giving you that double confirmation that that's some really important energy you need to pay attention to at this time. Or the other thing that can happen is sometimes when the cards are extremely messy and there's just a whole whack of cards jumping out, the initial portion of the reading may seem a little bit disjointed and like it's not all coming together, and then we'll turn over This Makes Sense, and all of a sudden everything just comes right together and it pulls the whole reading together. So that's the reason why we pull This Makes Sense cards. We're going to go over here to the messages from the spirits of nature for your This Makes Sense. You'll notice as well, Sagittarius, that I am in a different location. My son and I are in the process of moving. By the middle of May, I'm hoping that I'm going to be somewhere where I will be a little bit more settled. I recognize that I look like I am a pretty shade of blue. I don't know, maybe it's my alien DNA coming out, not sure. But yeah, this is a temporary location where I'm currently at. All right, we're going to go through you one more time. You're supposed to be making sense for Sagittarius. May 1st through the 15th. There we go. Hadn't given proper instructions, got distracted there. Is there anything else for the Sagittarians for This Makes Sense? No. Okay, so we just have one card that's come out for you for there. The next cards that we're going to pull are cards of unexpected influences and insights. Oh, here comes the sun. All right. Now my shade of blue has changed. All right. Unexpected. What is unexpected? I'm getting called over here to my old cheater deck. All right. Unexpected insights and influences. Now, the unexpected insights and influences cards, they can be read both in the positive and the negative, depending on what comes up. You know, not everything that comes up that is unexpected is good. Not everything that comes up that's unexpected is bad. It all depends on your perspective. Okay, the final cards that we're going to pull for you, Sagittarius, are the cards of your outcome. The outcome cards are the cards that are sort of predicting or projecting the furthest into the future for this reading. And we're looking at where you're going to be at come the 15th of May. Now, if you're curious about the timing for psychic readings and tarot readings and why sometimes things don't line up, please check out my video for the readings for April 1st through April 15th. I go into a lot of detail in that particular video explaining about timing when it comes to psychics, intuitives, and tarot cards. Okay, general overall outcome for Sagittarius, May 15th, middle of May 2023. General overall outcome. Anything else? I don't think there's only one card coming out here. We have one card that's come out. I'm going to go through the deck one more time because I really feel like there's more than just this one card in here for you. Outcome. Nothing comes out this time. We'll just go with the one. Yeah, there we go. I knew there was another card in there for you. All right. Okay. Where are you at now? You have the Nine of Spring, the Ace of Summer, and the Princess of Autumn. Interesting. You have the Wands, the Cups, and the Pentacles showing up here. You have no swords showing up here, Sagittarius. If I'm not mistaken, you are the second zodiac sign to have 3 suits represented in your where you're at now, missing the swords, which is interesting to me. Okay. Where you're at now, you've got the Nine of Spring. The Nine of Spring is equivalent to the Nine of Wands, and this is a card of prepare for some challenges. This is a card of making sure that you're protecting your assets, making sure that you're looking after things, making sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. This is a card of projection or prediction that there's something on the horizon which may knock you off your game a little bit, maybe perhaps get you a little bit off balance. Now, right next to that card, you have the Ace of Summer. Aces are all about new beginnings. Ace of Summer specifically is about new beginnings when it comes to relationships. Now, normally this card would be perceived as a very, very good and positive card. However, being right next to the Nine of Spring, it's an indication that there may be some challenges coming up in your relationships. Normally, this card would be about romantic relationships, but you've got this Princess of Autumn coming up that lands on the other side of this card. So if we read these cards in the order in which they came out, what this is telling me is that there's something challenging coming up for you. It pertains to relationships. And I want to say, for some of you anyway, the relationships that it pertains to is business or financial relationships, really, because you've got this Princess of Autumn, which is equivalent to the Princess of Pentacles in the traditional tarot, and this pertains to money, finances, job, career. Okay, so where you're at now, Sagittarius, you're in this place where you're being called upon to protect the fruits of your labor, prepare for something coming up. Sorry, the sun is coming out here. It's a little bit bright, so I'm squinting. There's definitely something new coming, and I'm not picking up, like, I'm not picking up a breakup per se, but I'm picking up like a change or a shift in a relationship, in the dynamic of a relationship. Yeah, and I am picking up that it's ultimately for the better. I mean, this Princess of Pentacles coming up is about happy news coming in, positivity coming in, but it's an unexpected shift in the dynamic or the energies of a relationship that you currently have. Perhaps with a boss, perhaps with a partner, business partner. There's some kind of shift coming up in your relationship, Sagittarius, and the overall outcome is positive, but there is going to be this period where it's a little bit unexpected and uncomfortable over here with this Nine of Wands or Nine of Spring. What you are focusing on, embracing enthusiasm. Yes, I love this card. This is a card of making sure that whatever you are doing, Sagittarius, you're doing it with enthusiasm. That, you know, you're not just the image that's coming to mind for me is someone who is trudging along, kind of dragging their boots through the snow, through the mud, going, another day, another dollar, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, this is what you are being asked not to do. When this card comes up, this card is about, you know what? Embrace each new day with excitement and enthusiasm. And in so doing, even if deep down inside you're feeling like you're trudging along, feeling like you want to drag your feet instead of picking your feet up and walking in a positive way, even if you're feeling that way, if you don't give into that, Sagittarius, if you embrace this enthusiasm and move along at a good pace when you're walking, if you smile at yourself in the mirror when you get up in the morning, whether you feel genuine about that smile or not, it helps. You just have to trust me on this. It helps. Tell yourself that you love yourself. Embrace everything that you do with enthusiasm. Begin to look at things through the eyes of a 3 or a 4-year-old. Go back to how exciting it was when you would see a little butterfly flit around and you just wanted to watch it. It was so exciting. Or the first time that you ever got taken to, I don't know, a museum or an art gallery or to a farm, a petting zoo where you got to embrace all those little animals. Go back, Sagittarius, the 1st through the 15th of May, and remember that and embrace it and hold on to it this month. That's what this card is asking you to do. Embrace your life with enthusiasm. And like I said, even if you're not really truly feeling it in your heart, you can turn it around so that you do feel it in your heart. But it takes a first step. Let's have a look at your difficult influences. Trust your instincts. This makes sense, right? You've got this 9 of spring here telling you to prepare for something a little bit uncomfortable, to let you know that, there's a little bit of a challenge on your horizon. And so this card is trust your instincts. This is in your difficult influences. This is an indication that you're not trusting the intuition that's coming in, that niggling that you get down in your stomach or that you feel in your heart, and you're going, oh, this doesn't feel right, but I guess I'm supposed to go ahead and do it anyway. Okay. This card is saying, if it feels like it's not right, it's not right. And trust that on a deep level. Take time to reflect. Well, it makes perfect sense having trust your instincts and take time to reflect right next to each other, right? If we're going to trust our instincts, we have to actually reflect on our instincts and see what's actually coming up. Now, you have both of these in your difficult influences. It means that you're not tapping in. You've tapped out somewhere along the lines. Drop your shields is also coming up in your difficult influences. This is an indication that you've got yourself blocked off. You've built up a wall. You blocked yourself off and go, I'm not dealing with that emotional stuff. Nope. Let someone else deal with it. You built up that wall. Okay. This is encouraging you. Drop that. Let people in, because in fact, you can't trust your instincts and you can't take time to reflect if you have a wall around you. Because if you have a wall around you, what does that wall do? That wall insulates you from being able to tap into the energies that are around you. Okay. And the final card that you have in your difficult influences is transform and unveil your gifts. Okay. This is the shapeshifter. This is an indication that this change or shift that's coming up for you, this difficult or challenge that's coming up for you, you have a positive card right next to it, the Ace of Spring, meaning that there's something new and something positive. The Ace of Spring is a very positive card, but it's out of this difficult challenge of the 9 of spring that something positive is going to come out of it. And this is asking you or telling you that there is going to be some kind of transformation that's coming up as a result of this, which is great. You do need to embrace that with some enthusiasm. But this is in your difficult influences or your challenges part of your reading. And so it's saying that you might bump up against that and just say, I don't know if I want to change. Yeah, you do. Embrace change. This makes sense. You have the cloud and imagination reversed. Yes, this is upside down. I am intentionally holding it up upside down because this is how it came out of the deck. What this is telling me, and this makes sense, is that, okay, first of all, embracing enthusiasm requires imagination, right? If we're going to go back into that state of mind of the 3, 4, 5-year-old where everything about the world is new and fun and exciting, and we want to just embrace everything, and we want to run around and go here and go there, and oh, this is fun and exciting. If we want to be able to embrace that here, May 1st through May 15th, Sagittarius, then you have to use your imagination. And this is a card of this makes sense. It makes sense that you're struggling. Like when a card comes out reverse, when we're doing these kinds of readings, it's an indication that you're bumping up against it, that it's not coming out easily and quickly. So your imagination is not coming out easily and quickly. Well, that kind of stands to reason because, you know, you've got these difficult influence cards that you've got here are telling me when we transform ourselves, we have to use our imagination, right? Everything begins with a thought. Thoughts become part of our manifestations, right? If we want to manifest a new and different life for ourselves, if we want to manifest a partner, for example, that truly loves and honors us, then we have to transform ourselves. Because if we go into a new relationship dragging all that old baggage with us, then guess what? We're going to get the same results. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So we have to transform ourselves. Well, the only way that we can transform ourselves is through our imagination. And what this is telling me, Sagittarius, is you're bumping up against your imagination right now. Why are you bumping up against your imaginations? Because you've built a wall around yourself and you're not tapping into all of the energies that are accessible to you. Let's have a look at what's unexpected. Yeah, unexpected. You've got the Three of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Three of Swords is an indication that, look at the picture on this card. Picture on this card is a heart with three swords being stabbed through the heart. This is a card of resisting change. This is a card of you need to sever something from your past in order to be able to move forward. You have to cut something out in order to be able to move forward. And incidentally, you have a card with identical meaning. Right next to this one, you've got the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is turn your back on something. Look at the picture on this card. The picture on this card is a character who is walking away from his golden cups. He's turned his back and he's walking away without looking back. So before I turn over the final cards of your reading, I'm going to just quickly summarize because this is heavy, Sagittarius. This is a heavy reading. Okay. You've got a challenge coming up. From this challenge, something new and good and positive is going to come out of it with this Ace of Summer, which is wonderful. It likely pertains to job and career or money and finances. This is also a positive card that something new and good is coming out of it. But you need to embrace what's happening and these changes and shifts with enthusiasm. You have to understand that you need to transform in order for this to happen, and you need to use your imagination. You need to get this card turned over so that you can use your imagination. Look up at the clouds. Remember what I said about being a small child? Spend some time, because one of the other cards that you have here is take time to reflect. Okay? So why not take time to reflect in the clouds, lie on your back, stare up at the clouds, see what your imagination brings in and brings up for you, right? And do that with some enthusiasm, because there is something that you need to let go of. There is something you need to cut off from your past. You need to turn your back and walk away. And when you do that, good things will come out of it. Yes. Okay, you do have another 8 here. You have the 8 of Swords coming up in your final overall outcome. This is guilt, okay? Guess what? That's what you need to turn around and walk away from. And when you turn around and you walk away from this guilt, which is probably going to happen around the middle of the month, because this guilt card was pulled specifically for the end of the month, or sorry, the middle of the month, right around the 15th of the month. When you turn around and you actually release this, the absolute most positive card is coming out for you. This is the Magician. What is the Magician? This is all about your existence. This is the card of you can create the reality that you want, Sagittarius. You really can. And you can create it with enthusiasm. You can create it with imagination. You can create it by becoming the shapeshifter and changing who you are. That's what all of this is guiding you towards. But first, let go of the guilt that you're carrying around. Turn your back on it and walk away. Now, these were the cards of unexpected insights and unexpected influences. It's going to be unexpected. Whatever this thing is, it's going to be unexpected for you. You're going to look at it and go, wow, I didn't see that one coming. But when you actually drop the guilt surrounding the changes that you want to make, here's the thing. I had mentioned that I thought maybe the change that's coming and the new beginning that's coming is more so with regards to a relationship that you have with regards to money or with regards to job. And I really feel like for some of you, this is pertaining to a work or a job where you feel an obligation to someone. You feel indebted to someone and you feel like leaving is going to cause this. It's going to cause guilt. And these cards are saying you're going to have to walk away from that. And when you do, you're going to realize your inner magician that you can create your own reality. And you can create a better world for yourself. Okay, Sagittarius, thank you so much for being here. I hope you will join me again in the middle of May for your next reading. Thank you.